Hello and happy Monday and happy Valentine's Day. It is February 14th. I am MJ and this is a general reading for the collective. Today I am using my Guardians of the Night deck. For those of you who are interested, although I'm not selling this deck any longer, I am giving some away. And if you'd like to learn more about how to get your hands on a free copy of this deck, you can find that information out on my website at crowtarotshop.com. Okay, let's get right to it and see what we have going on energetically speaking. I'm just going to clear this deck. It's been a while since I've used the Guardians of the Night. This is one of my favorite decks. I mean, I know as a creator, you're like, just like a parent, you know, you don't want to say, oh, that one's my favorite child, but I do have a strong affinity to this deck. I feel like the decks that I make during times of stress are usually the ones that I personally feel more connected with. Okay, so let's get right to it. So today, we're starting off here with this energy of the Eight of Pentacles. And you can see here, this is paper wasp. Excuse me, paper wasp. And their nests that they make are absolutely incredible. If you think about the architectural detail, the precision, they also, here's the other cool fact about them, is that they actually make their own paper. They chew up the pulp from the tree and they construct the paper. So they are truly bespoke. Like they are truly an artisan. This paper wasp, however, for you represents, perfecting your skill, doing something that is unique to you, just like this, making this nest is unique to this paper wasp. And learning what you can so that you can become even better, right? Every day we try to be better than we were yesterday. And so this might be, today, one of those days where you're more apt to look at courses online or more apt to try to, develop a skill or learn something new, something that will further your career or your hobby or something that you're really passionate about. With the Eight of Pentacles, one thing to take notice of is that you are already in a position where you have a good foundation of like an understanding for what you want to do. This is now a time to just, fine tune those skills, hone it in. When we see the Eight of Pentacles, we know that we're on the path to success, right? We can almost feel that path. What sometimes hoses us is when we allow perfection to get in the way of good, right? We don't want to put ourselves out there. It's the artist that has a whole studio full of art, but never has a show because they're terrified that they're not good enough, right? Even though, they find that there is support out there for their work. They're just too uncertain, right? The Eight of Pentacles requires us to be vulnerable and getting our work out there and learning and putting ourselves out into this world. So be aware, if you're working on something, if you're working on perfecting something, it's, you're already attracting the attention that you need to get moving on this goal of yours. Don't slow it down by trying to perfect something, but at the same time you want to learn as much as you can. So just don't allow the process of learning to get in your way. Okay, so let's see what opportunity, speaking of getting in our way, hopefully it's not a block. Let's see what opportunity is on the horizon here. Wow, okay, Page of Pentacles. So here comes this Page of Pentacles, and they are going to, or you will receive somehow, whether it's an individual or an opportunity, something is going to come to you as an opportunity to grow, to expand your position here in this material world, for you to attract more resources. So here you can see this octopus. It has all of its tentacles out in the water, right? It's checking, it's looking for the perfect opportunity, the perfect area, that will hold more promise, perhaps in other areas. So That's what this Page of Pentacles is doing. It's coming to you, it's bringing to you an opportunity that when you take hold of it and you apply what you've learned so far, right? When you apply that knowledge, that wisdom that you've gained, and that desire to keep going, that desire to keep learning more, what you'll find is this path is going to unfold for you, and you'll be able to identify areas that when you apply your wisdom, when you apply the practical knowledge, when you take action, will benefit you more so than other areas. So let's see who is showing up at our door. Because so far, I mean, you're looking at this opportunity to find success very easily, right? It's like this is an opportunity that's coming your way that will, again, if you apply yourself, if you take that wisdom that you have within you and you know what you need to do, it's all right there for you, right? All you have to do is receive, right? And that's, for some of us, that's the hardest thing, is receiving, right? We're like, because we have to feel worthy. Oh my God, and that kicks back to the Eight of Pentacles and feeling good enough and feeling perfect enough to receive this opportunity. So, hey, it's coming your way. Take this opportunity when you can, because you do have the skills. You've been working hard to get there. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, I'm off the soapbox. Oops. Okay. Okay, so the person coming our way, oh God, who is this person? They are not a very fast-moving creature here. Here we have the possum and the hangman. Whoever this is, they might slow down some of that momentum that you're building, especially if you're really excited about this new opportunity and you're like, hey, I'm ready to go. And you, sure enough, we have this hangman come in, and this is an individual who will cause a little bit of resistance. They may ask you to learn a little bit more, right? They may say, hey, you know what? You're making great strides in where you are, but it's time for you to kind of gain a little bit more information or to gain more insight. And they're going to force you to do that. So although you are working towards this great goal, and it's not leaving, it's not like this goal just disappears, right? It doesn't just fall back into the ocean here with this octopus. What this hangman, whoever this is, what this hangman represents is someone or a situation that's going to force you to really evaluate where you are on your journey, and if there is something that you need to see from a different angle, right? You might have this idea of what perfect looks like, right? But maybe it doesn't need to be that way. Maybe it needs to look a little differently. You might need to have somebody sign off on something here. I mean, the basic, when you think about like just the hangman in general, you might need somebody's approval or somebody to release funds or to release, consent for something, and they might be on vacation, right? They might not come back until Wednesday, and now you're just sitting there and you're like, you're waiting and waiting and waiting. But there might be an opportunity in that as well for you to gain some more insight into this chance that you have here to grow something. Maybe you'll see something that you didn't see before if you were continuing on a straight path, right? If you're following, what you think needs to be done, all of a sudden when that gets sort of shooken up there a bit by somebody else, you might recognize some areas that you could build on, or another area of opportunity that you may have missed. So let's see what the overall advice here is. But it's like whoever this is, you can't blame them. They're just doing their life, and use that time even to gain more skills, to develop whatever it is that you're developing. I mean, that might be the blessing in disguise there. Okay, so the overall advice is, okay, sometimes you have to be independent, right? And this is where you might be feeling a bit of friction. You might have this idea for how something needs to happen. You might have an idea for what you want to see accomplished. This is your party, you're in control, and you might be experiencing some stress because you're not able to get this person to sign off, in time, or you're not able to get this project to move at a pace that you want it to move in because you're waiting on somebody else. And you may be tempted to bypass certain channels, right? You might be tempted to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. It's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. I'm just going to do it. And although sometimes I'm a big fan of that, sometimes you kind of, you need to do that, if there's somebody who is really resistant because they have their own blocks in place, right? Their own beliefs that hold back other people. But here for this case, I feel like the advice is saying, be aware of when you start getting those feelings within to break away, to try to go on your own, because it may not be perceived as an act of independence as much as it may be perceived as an act of defiance. And you may want to consider what your reputation will become if you are constantly, bypassing the appropriate channels. Or if something goes wrong, right? If something doesn't fall right in your plan and you went off on your own, other people might look at you and say, well, if only they just, stuck to the schedule, then everything would have been fine. So just be aware and know when, I think that's the most important thing is knowing when you can make that decision, that unilateral decision, when you can do something completely on your own, or to bypass perhaps a channel of authority, of some sort, or maybe not even authority, just somebody who's HR is on vacation, or somebody who needs to sign off on something is on vacation. When you know the rules that you can break without getting in trouble, that's really important, because you might be inclined to do that, but just be cautious, I guess, is what the Seven of Swords is coming at you with here, because you may end up in going after this opportunity because you're so skilled, because you know what you're doing, but yet you still have some to learn, right? That's what this Eight of Pentacles is all about. It's you still have some knowledge to gain there. You're not quite there, right? You haven't quite reached that pinnacle of perfection yet. You're still working, right? Not that you need to be perfect, but you're not quite even ready to get close to perfect, right? You're there. You're at that base of the mountain. You're close, right? You can see it, but you still have some work to do. And you have this opportunity that will enable you to get even closer, right? You have this opportunity that holds promise for you. And yeah, there's somebody who's hosing you, but I feel like you don't want to separate yourself from others right now because you think that you know the best way to go, right? You have just enough wisdom to be dangerous, I feel like here. And it could jeopardize how successful this opportunity turns out to be. It will still, it still holds a great deal of promise, and you probably will be very successful, but you have to ask yourself at what cost, right? If you're bypassing other people, if you're going alone, if you're cutting corners, will you be able to build upon the success later? Will this be something where you'll be able to cultivate support down the road? So just be aware, if you're being short-sighted at all here. The Seven of Swords, sometimes you do have to make that tough decision and break away and be independent. Just use caution when you're doing it, okay? So much love, peace, and I will see you tomorrow. And happy Valentine's Day again. I wish you all the love All the love in the world. Peace. Bye.